going to be talking about red blood cells and also nerve cells. So, red blood cells, they have a protein inside them. And that protein allows the red blood cells to absorb and release oxygen. So every time you breathe, your oxygen goes down to your lungs. Then the red blood cells, they quickly come, absorb it. Then they release it to the other cells in your body. And now we're going to be talking about how red blood cells, they make blood. So pretend this is your blood, and your blood, pretend like this is your bloodstream, and the red blood cells, they're covered with blood. Okay, pretend this is your blood, and so they're inside of your bloodstream, and your bloodstream is full of blood. And so that protein makes the red blood cells change their color into dark red. So when they change their color to dark red, they start working on the blood. Then the blood changes its color to dark red because there's starting to be a lot more red blood cells. They're changing the blood into dark red. And after they change, after they keep changing their color, after they keep changing their colors themselves into dark red, it starts going out to all your blood. And now we're going to be talking about your red blood cells when they die and what they do when your red blood cells are dead. So red blood cells, they have a due date, 120 days. So when that 120 days is over, the red blood cells are gonna die. Pretend these are your dead blood cells, okay? So your dead blood cells, they'll be just dead. But then your red blood cells, pretend to see your red blood cells, they absorb that oxygen. And they don't absorb the oxygen, they absorb the red blood cell with that protein. That protein allows them to absorb the red blood cell inside of them. The dead blood cell, they absorb it. Then after they absorb it, it just stays there. Nothing changes. And now you'll be asking me, oh, Efe, how are red blood cells made? Well, pretend this as a regular bone. Its name is the red bone marrow. It's in your legs, and when you're an adult, it is yellow. So let's call this the yellow-red marrow, the yellow-red bone marrow. So let's cut this in half. So like this half of the red and yellow bone marrow, and they make red blood cells. And you'll be asking me, well, Rafa, how are red blood cells made? Okay, these are stem cells. They're shaped exactly like the red blood cells. And these are about stem cells. So stem cells could form into 3 different types: muscle cells, nerve cells, and red blood cells. We'll be talking about muscle cells in a future video. So when the stem cells are in your red and yellow bone marrow, they start taking the shape. It's the same shape as the red blood cells. So then the stem cells, they start changing their appearance into the red blood cells. After they change their appearance, it takes them 2 days to make 2 million new red blood cells. 2 million in 2 days. That's a shocker. And after they do that, they keep the red and yellow bone marrow. They keep it in for 7 days. After keeping it in for 7 days, they release it throughout your body to your bloodstream, and then they make the entire red blood cells dark. I already said that. And like every second, your stem cells they make new red blood cells. After making new red blood cells, they keep going, and keep going. They work. The stem cells, they work until you're dead. And and that's all about the red blood cells. Now we'll be talking about nerve cells. So nerve cells are cells that carry messages throughout your body. And you'll be asking me again, well, Efe, how do nerve cells that carry messages throughout your body? And so nerve cells, so like pretend this. I need to erase some of this. So pretend this is your nerve cells, okay? Pretend this, okay? And right here, the nerve cells, and they're connected with other nerve cells. And so that connection leads them to be spreading out memories, to carrying out their messages, like memories and your thoughts. So every time they keep doing that, they keep spreading around because your brain, your brain, it's full of nerve cells. Inside of your brain is full of nerve cells. So those nerve cells, they give you thinking, and they give you imagination, and they give you memories that you need. And like after the nerve cells, and then you'll be asking me again, well, Efe, what makes the nerve cells? Well, okay, what makes the nerve cells? Well, so stem cells. So like I said that stem cells, they make nerve cells. And so before you were even born, you're in your mother's stomach, the stem cells, they start quickly making new nerve cells for your body. But they stop making new nerve cells after you're born. They stop doing that. And no one knows why they stop doing that. And so if your nerve cells are near other cells, they won't be carrying messages throughout your body. And if they're not near other cells, they will die. And then you will die because all your nerve cells in your brain are the only things in your brain. So you can't be thinking or imagining or even having memories without your brain. You'll be like a caveman. You'll be a caveman just going ooga ooga booga booga, saying that stuff. And now we'll be talking about nerve cells and why do they need oxygen. So red blood cells, I said that red blood cells, they carry oxygen everywhere in your body, especially your nerve cells. So your nerve cells need oxygen to survive, like everyone else does. So after the nerve cells, after the red blood cells, they spreading around all the blood, all the oxygen, and all the oxygen that you breathe. They also keep going to the nerve cells, and they're giving them oxygen that they need to survive, like everyone else. And now we'll be talking about that. That's it. So I hope you like this video, and have a good day in your biology class.